Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're still in our Intro to Business book. We're going to be looking at Lesson 1.2, Decision Making. In this section, we're going to be explaining how an economy meets its needs and wants and describe the 6 steps in decision-making process. Providing needs and wants. The needs and wants of a society are met through the production of goods and services. This production requires the use of economic resources. Remember our last section we discussed that resources are scarce because most countries have limited amount of resources available to them. Needs. Needs are things that are required in order to live. Some examples of needs would be like your food, water, clothing, housing, things you need to live and survive. Wants. Wants are things that are not necessary for survival, but are added comfort and pleasure to our lives. So some examples of a want would be like the newest iPhone or the newest video game system that's out. We don't need these things to live and survive. It's things that we want. Luxury items. Goods and services. Goods are things that you can see and touch, something tangible. And services are activities that are consumed at the same time that they are produced. So some examples of a good would be like a phone, a textbook, your tablet, computer, that type of thing. So services. Some examples of services would be like I think the book uses a hairstylist as an example. Some of you that are in the HVAC program, so like a HVAC repair, that you would be providing a service. Same with our automotive students. If you did a automotive repair, you are providing a service to the consumer. Economic resources. The means through which goods and services are produced are called economic resources or factors of production. There are 3 kinds of economic resources: natural resources, human resources, and capital resources. Natural resources are just that. They're natural. So like our earth, water, oil would be a natural resource. Iron, coal, those type of things. Those are our natural resources. Human resources. So human resources are people. So it takes people in order to turn a natural resource into a good. So that's where our human resources come into play to turn those natural resources into a good. It's our labor force. Capital resources. Capital resources are the tools, equipment, supplies, buildings, things that are needed to produce those goods. Economic decision making. Let's take a look at that now. So the book has it laid out into 6 different steps. An economic decision making is the process of deciding among several alternative wants to determine the one most desired. So because we can't have everything that we need and want, we need to make decisions to come up with that. So here's a little chart that shows the 6 steps, and this is in your textbook on page 13, I believe it is. So the first step in the decision-making process is number 1, to define the problem. So this is the most important step. In order to get a solution, you first need to know what the problem is. The next step would be to identify your choices. So before you can make a choice, you have to know what your choices are. So you would evaluate that and determine what are your available choices. Then the third step would be to evaluate those choices. You would compare their advantages versus their disadvantages. And then the next step would be to choose one once you've evaluated them. You've narrowed it down and then you choose. The fifth step, you would act on your choice. So the book used an example of, say, you were deciding whether to go to the movies or to a concert. So to act on your choice, say, for example, you chose to go to the concert, your action, your number 5 step would be to actually go purchase your concert tickets. And then lastly, your 6th step is to review your decision once you acted upon it. To go back and determine, are you happy with that choice that you made? Was it a good decision? All right, so this is section 1.2. We have 2 more sections in this chapter, so continue on to the next video to watch the next section.